When you hear that Buster H.R. Oh, man, it's about to go down. You feel the tension in the air. Wrestling fans all over the world, get ready for this right here. They're gonna have a field day with this one. You're about to witness Buster Unmasked! Oh, Lord! Oh, Lord! There's no telling what Buster's gonna say today. We just getting started. Just getting started! Welcome to Buster Unmasked! Hosted by Buster H.R. Johnson. This is a Buster H.R. exclusive. We are now tuned in to Buster Unmasked. We are now tuned in to Buster Unmasked. You are now tuned in to Buster Unmasked. We are now tuned in to Buster Unmasked.
All right, y'all, we're here. We're live. You're watching Buster Unmasked. And I know what you're saying. Buster, you again? Already, ain't that 3 times this week? And you know it is. It's the Dirty Dozens Countdown Week, man. Today is the only day that we're not going to do any Dirty Dozens podcast. We'll be right back at it tomorrow and Thursday. And then Sunday is the Dirty Dozens. So far, this week's been off the rails, and I expect tonight to be no different. I don't really know what to expect from my guests. They ain't really been on the same page lately, but I'll tell you what, man. Before we get to that, you know what I got to do. I got to plug my sponsors, and I got to plug the Dirty Dozen. So let's get that done, and then let's see how tonight goes. You seen what happened last night. I hope tonight's a little better.
You already know who it is.
We be bustin'.
It's Big Buster, baby, and I got some Dirty Dozens for y'all.
We be bustin'.
Wrestling road battles. Y'all ain't ready for this. Y'all ain't ready. Here we go. Oh. Who be bustin'? We be bustin' like Blassie, like William Perry, we hustlin'. Big in these streets like Big Buster. You a sucker like Lou Brother who trust we busted. Lick off shot, chin, get clocked, knick-knack, patty whack, give a dog a bone. Dirty Dozens with my pros, step into the zone. Wrestling roast battle, leave that alone. We be busted.
All right, y'all, this Sunday night, October 19th, 8 p.m. Central Time, do not miss it. And this podcast would not be happening, nor the Dirty Dozens, without these guys you see around me right here. So let me plug these sponsors, and we're going to try to get this thing underway. For all of your breaking news, sports, and weather in and around the Jackson, Tennessee, and the West Tennessee area, be sure to tune in to 101.5 FM or 103.5 FM. You can also log in to talkinwesttennessee.com. That's TALKNWESTTN.com. or newstalk1035.com. For all of your in-home care and consumer direct services in and around the Caruthersville, Missouri area, be sure to call Glowing Hearts at 573-643-2537. Their priority is caring for you and your family. Be sure to check out the Boot Hill Sports Network on YouTube for all of your sports news and live local games in and around the Missouri Boot Hill. That's BOOTHEEL. That's the Boot Hill Sports Network on YouTube. The Boot Hill Sports Network is also the home of American Hostile Championship Wrestling and the Unified Wrestling Alliance every single Saturday morning at 11 a.m. on YouTube. Professional wrestling just the way you like it. All right, y'all, we're in a unique situation right here. My guest tonight, I don't even know if they're going to come on together, to be honest with you. Roscoe Monroe told me flat out he did not want to be on here with Norman. I don't see how these guys make it. They are the most unlikely but successful tag team that I have seen come down the pike in years and years. These guys are the 901 heavyweight tag team champions, but I don't think they like each other one bit. So I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to try to pull Roscoe on, and we're going to see if he's willing to be on here with Meklakov. So let's see what happens, guys. Roscoe.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Roscoe, are you
only because I love you, Buster?
Man, I appreciate that so much, Roscoe. Man, I was worried. I know you two guys aren't really on the same page lately, man. But let's get Meklakov on here, and then let's talk about what you guys got going on.
Well, it's kind of hard to hug the porcupine, you know.
I can hear you.
What is up, my friend?
Well, first of all, I'm not your friend. I still hate you, Buster.
So we're starting off like that. I thought we had a mutual respect last time, Meklakov. We kind of talked shit to each other, threatened to kick each other's ass, and I thought we were cool, but I guess not. Roscoe, how do you put up with this dude?
There you go. That's what you get for thinking right there.
He's plucking that last nerve lately. And I got news for you. This belt right here that I got, I plan on keeping this thing. So, you know.
You're welcome for that, by the way.
Well, thank you, Norman. I certainly appreciate that.
Well, Norman, let's start like this. I'm glad to see you here. I seen the situation with the car wreck. I can tell by looking at your eye. Man, I'm glad to see you here. Even though you don't like me, man, I'm glad you were able to make it here. I know you two guys, look, let's just be honest. Tommy Jacks, he put an audio phone call out that he had between you two guys about a week ago, maybe a little less. And you two guys are absolutely not on the same page. And you guys had a big match scheduled for this past Sunday at Minglewood Hall. So why don't y'all tell us what actually happened? Were you guys able, did you get to compete, Meklakov? I know Tommy said you couldn't because you were injured.
I don't know. Roscoe, do you want to tell him the story, or can you stop throwing a temper tantrum long enough? You want me to tell it? You want to tell it?
Be my guest. Absolutely, Mr. Meklakov.
All right, here's the thing. So I'm driving around, minding my own business, and of course, American driver hits me in the side, runs me off-road, and yeah, I sustained some injuries. Yeah, I cannot compete. I was unable to compete. We were going to have to give up our championship belts that we worked so hard for. And I had the brilliant idea to recruit a new member, and that new member was able to compete, and we retained those championship belts because of my idea. And Roscoe's mad at me because I was in an accident, and he's mad at the partner now that he has because he just can't get along with anyone.
Roscoe,
that's a bit of a broad statement right there. Let's talk about the facts here, okay? Let's talk about the facts. All right, Norman. Okay, you got hurt. Now, before you got hurt, we had all these glorious plans for the future. You know, all this expansion, the stuff we were going to do, the places we were going to go, you know, how I'm going to end my career in wrestling with Norman Meklakov as my tag team partner. And then all that kind of got shot out of the woods when this happened, all right? And then you throw me underneath the bus. And even when you threw me underneath the bus, who went to the hospital with you while you had your surgery, all right? So you just might want to think twice before you bring out the stiletto and start stabbing me in the back with it there, buddy.
Let me ask you guys.
You were me the entire time you were in the hospital. Roscoe, did accompany me to the hospital to have my first surgery. It was very kind of
what
him.
tag team partners do.
And I appreciate that, Roscoe. But can you please just accept the fact this is beyond me? Do you think I want to be like this? This is not the way I want to be. I did what I had to do so that we could obtain and retain those championship belts. I didn't want to do it this way.
So look, guys, I said it in the opening. You guys are like the most unlikely marriage of tag team partners. And if I remember correct, Roscoe, when you were trying to break in the business, you actually contacted Meklakov before anybody else and tried to get him to train you, and he refused, right?
He said no. Absolutely, he said no. You know, but as time went on, I mean, I wrestled him, what, 3 times, 4 times before we even got to 901. All right. But that's because when he went to 901, he sit there and was schmoozing everybody and buying them drinks and being a sponsor. And hell, I knew how Meklakov was. I know what his character is like, you know. So I just tried to, you know, open up the eyes of those folks at 901, and then boom, I'm all of a sudden the bad guy. I mean, you know, reality sucks sometimes, you know, Buster. It really does. Now, as far as what we're talking about, I understand that adversity sometimes makes strange bedfellows. But they went and pulled this guy from, I guess he's from Memphis, lives in Nashville, Tennessee now, Ashton Pachuco. And, you know, he just, I don't know, I rubbed the wrong way with him the other night. All right. It just rubbed. You've got to understand and have a little bit of sensitivity that, yes, I'm going to be a little bit upset with the situation, especially when I had no say so in it. You know what I'm saying? Right. I didn't pick Ashton. You know, the powers that be picked Ashton. So, I mean, you know, or Norman, but it's just, frustrating. It's just frustrating. Okay. So I'm dealing. I'm processing.
Tommy Jacks is with us. He says, now you see what I have to deal with. Man, y'all were giving him hell on that phone call. I have to admit, that's a hard situation to be in. I was uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable for Tommy listening to it.
You know what? Tommy Jack should be thankful that Roscoe and I got those belts. If it were not for me and Roscoe and the Gentlemen's Club, those tag team titles wouldn't mean a damn thing. For the last 2 to 3 years, all they've been doing is playing hot potato with those belts between 1, 2 tag teams. There's no one getting those belts from the Gentlemen's Club. I saw to that. Roscoe and I won those belts, and we have obtained prestige for those championship belts. Tommy Jack should kneel down and kiss our feet for that.
I will back him up on one thing. You know,
hell yeah, Roscoe.
One thing about it is we are the Gentlemen's Club, and we set the rules. Minglewood Hall is our house, okay? And we make the rules, all right? So, you know, I know Tommy was like freaked out whenever Norman pulled out that contract paper where Ashton Pachuco had signed it. And, you know, all of a sudden he got, you know, ushered in as the new tag team partners of the Gentlemen's Club. I get that. I mean, I get that. And I'm sure he's just as shocked as everyone else was. But while that phone conversation was going on, Norman was typing on the computer, letting me know that he had found Ashton and everything. So, I mean, I'm just not been given time to process what's going on. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, you know, it's like I have hope for the future, but at the same time, I'm just, you know, I've been out there in orbit and left out there in the woods. And I know you wouldn't like to feel this way, Buster.
Right. Look, guys, Walker Hayes, Walker 13's on here, man. He says, what happened Sunday? Look, he says, what happened Sunday was uncomfortable. Y'all need to get it together. What exactly happened Sunday? Here's what I do know. I do know you guys are still the 901 tag team champions, so that's a good thing. So, Roscoe, as much as you may not like your new partner, your fill-in guy, apparently he came through. So what went on Sunday? How did this thing play out, guys?
You want to tell him, Norman?
Sure. Okay. Walker, he doesn't understand. Roscoe and I are men. There is a lot of testosterone there. And the fill-in that I got, the newest member, Pachuki, by the way, Roscoe, is your partner. Put some respect on his name. Pronounce it right. Pachuki. Yes, Ashton Pachuki, Roscoe, and myself are all grown men. A lot of testosterone. Yeah, we're going to push. We're going to fight. We're hostile. We are all alphas. You'll never know what that's like, Walker, you big nerd. I'll beat you with this crutch next time I see you. You got something to say to me? I got a manager's license now. I can't fight you in the ring, but I'll beat your ass outside of the ring.
So let me ask you this, Roscoe. How long are you stuck with Pachuco? Here's the thing. Pachuki, say it, Roscoe. I want to hear you say it, man. Say it. Look, Pachuki, I'm sorry, but it almost sounds like something you might flush down the toilet, Roscoe. I don't know, dude. But look, you're stuck with this guy, Roscoe. You're stuck with him for the foreseeable future. How do you see that playing out for the Gentlemen's Club, man, and the tag team championships?
Well, you wanted to know what happened, okay? Well, Sunday night, basically I had hold of both belts so that Norman could get inside the ring, okay? So he hobbled inside the ring, and we helped him inside the ring. He handed Tommy this contract paper. They brought Ashton on, and then all of a sudden, he wants me to hand over one of the belts, his belt, and hand it to Ashton. And the crowd's going crazy. When I came out, that crowd booed me and did everything. I mean, they called me every name in the book. Ashton comes out, and you thought that Jesus had walked on water. I mean, I looked at that crowd, and I said, wait a minute, you're supposed to be worshiping me. And that made it even worse. They hated me even worse. And I'm supposed to give this man my belt, this extra, the belt that Norman, my normal tag team partner, would have used. I mean, it was just the whole situation was humiliating, okay? The way it was carried out, the way it was handled. And then when the match got started and everything was happening, all of a sudden Ashton kind of took over and did his deal. And he just didn't understand that I am the veteran heel and I'm going to run our side of the match. All right. He felt that he was going to do that. And so the whole situation busted into a pushing match, okay, which Norman had to break up. So that's what happened, okay, Buster? So we got a little testosterone going, got a little pushing match going. And, the crowd got into it. So it just got a little out of hand. All right.
So let me ask you this. Tommy Jack sent me a picture of this guy. And I'm trying to get it loaded up in right now so we can show it. Roscoe, you've got this new partner, but Meklakov, I want to know one thing. How did you choose this guy, man? How was this the guy that you knew that you needed in the Gentlemen's Club?
Well, we were originally, when we filed for those applications for the Gentlemen's Club, it was just a spoof. There was no way we were going to find any suitable applicants, especially in Memphis, Tennessee. There was just no way. However, there was a man who was our camera operator who would follow us around, and, he learned a thing or two. I met him in the gym. I respected his work ethic, and he filled out an application, and that's Ashton Pachuki. So I was in a tight spot. I had to make a quick decision,
we all popped out.
And I made a good decision. So he was former Gentlemen's Club cameraman. Now he's a full-fledged member of the Gentlemen's Club, and he debuted as a champion. What other promotion can say they had a man debut as a champion? Did I not promise you? Did we not promise you that we were going to change the face of wrestling? There you go, right there. It writes itself. We are continuing to change wrestling.
That's a hell of a note.
Roscoe.
That's a hell of a note.
Now,
And, you know, it's like the whole thing is like you
Hey,
say,
look,
well,
here's-
what's the future going to hold? What's going to happen in the future? You know, Ashton's going to have to toe the line. I mean, he's going to have to kind of, you know, be a team player if we're going to win in these matches and stuff like that, and move forward, you know, and not be so argumentative and up pushing and everything. I understand he's got a huge following in Memphis. I get that, you know, and they absolutely love him, and that's just wonderful, you know. But I'm not there to win a popularity contest. I'm there to retain this belt, these belts. I like these belts. I want to keep these belts. And, you know, I'm just all of a sudden have the cameraman on my team, and I had no idea how he was going to end up, you know, working out in this match. Thank God that it ended up being spectacular. Had it not been that way, I don't think you'd have been talking to me and Norman at this moment right now. Does that make sense?
So let's explore that a little bit. Roscoe makes perfect sense. The one key thing, this guy went from being the Gentlemen's Club cameraman to being one half of the 901 Tag Team Champions right now.
On his first night.
Here's the thing. On his first night, now Roscoe, both of you guys, real men. That's what I'm talking about. That's what the Gentleman Club is all about, real men. There's a lot of not real men in the wrestling business in this day and time.
Little
That's what
crybaby
y'all are
boys.
about. Is this guy man enough to be part of the Gentleman's Club?
He's a big boy. I mean, he's buffed
I
up.
seen the picture. I couldn't get it to load, but I seen the guy. Hey, he's a big guy, built good, man.
Yeah, he'll whoop your ass. I mean, that's not the issue. You know, the issue is, you know, can you be a part of a team? Even though Norman and I don't get along, okay, we realize what the Gentleman's Club is, and we realize what we can do with it, and we realize where we can go, you know. Now, Ashton's going to have to kind of figure out a way to work his way into it, right? Rather than roll in like a steamroller and take over like it, especially during the match. You know, there's a reason why you have veteran heels that run things, okay? And he doesn't see that at all. I mean, wherever he got his training, they didn't hammer that in. And Buster, I know, because I know where you were kind of trained from. You know that the veteran heel was shown respect.
Right. If they don't show respect, you take respect.
Exactly.
It's as simple as that.
Exactly. And that's what happened during that match. And that's what happened at the end of the match. And that's why Norman had to get in between us. You know, I'm glad we're on Buster. Buster, you're a great psychotherapist. I am glad that we're on here to work this out with you and the world.
So let me ask you this, Norman. You got this new guy. You bring him into the team. You bring him in, make him a part of the Gentleman's Club. How long are you going to be on the shelf, first of all?
I cannot answer that right now. I will be on the shelf for as long as I need to be. I am falling nicely into my new role as the Gentleman's Club manager. And there was a reason that I studied all of the ins and outs of 901 Wrestling while I was a sponsor. It was for reasons like this. I'm still relevant outside of the ring. I'm still part of a champion tag team. I've got these crutches. I've got one arm. I've got one leg. I'm half to the man I once was. But what those boys need to realize in the back, I might be half the man I once was, but I'm twice the man you'll ever be.
So let me ask you guys this, especially you, Norman.
That's true.
Okay. Pachuco's filling in right now.
Pachuki.
Pachuki. I'll get it right eventually. Pachuki, man. It sounds like I need a handkerchief. Roscoe, you got a hanky, man. I think I need to blow my nose. Pachuki, man. You know what I mean? But all kidding aside, this guy come in, helped Roscoe, helped you guys retain these titles. There's no telling how long he's going to actually have to be defending these titles with Roscoe while you're on the shelf. What's the deal when you get ready to step back in the ring? What happens if this guy don't want to relinquish his part in this team? He don't want to give you the belt back. He feels like he's the one been helping Roscoe defend it. He feels like he's the 901 tag team champions right now.
Do I strike you as the type of person who would ask for something? No. If I want it, I will take it. It was once mine. I gave it over willingly. If I want it back, I will take it back. Or he can give it back. The choice will be his.
And that's why I chose Norman as a tag team partner. That attitude right there. Whatever he wants, he'll take it. It's like eating lunch with an alligator. Exactly. You know, if you ain't watch that, you're going to be lunch. And that's kind of the way things are in this tag team. It's kind of dog eat dog or gator eat gator, however you want to look at it. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes down real life, men are kind of that way. You know what I'm saying? Alpha dogs.
So you guys have been 901 tag team champions a pretty good while now. So let's talk about some of the challenges you've had, some of the challengers you guys had for that title. What teams have you defeated so far to retain those 901 tag team titles since y'all won them?
Everyone we faced? What are you, stupid?
But who were they? Who are the teams? Because I know, like the Initiative. The Initiative's showing up in 901 wrestling now. One of the hottest tag teams around the Mid-South area. Very, very well-traveled, experienced. Surely you guys see that they're coming for you and those 901 tag team titles.
I sure hope that they are. And let me tell you this, Buster, you don't have to realize, the fans have to realize, whether they like it or not, the reason the Initiative are there is because they finally see the worth that the 901 Tag Team Championship belts have. And that is because the Gentlemen's Club have put some respect on that name. It is because of us that those belts are worth coming for. So, the Initiative, come on, we want that too. The K-Knights, we want that too. The Holler Boys, we want that too. All of the tag teams. We sent out an open invitation months ago. They are finally coming. Line them up. You're doing exactly what we want you to do. We're going to prove to you we are the superior team.
Man, Tommy Jackson's on here, and he's saying that you guys have actually refused to defend those titles in Memphis until the other night.
Because they had no teams worth defending them for. Now there are champions. Now there are championship matches worth having. You can get two jackoffs from anywhere, put them together. That doesn't make a tag team. You need men to step up to the plate.
Amen.
Tommy come back, and he says that y'all have absolutely refused to defend those titles in 901 wrestling until the other night. And I know, Tommy, as a promoter, that is frustrating as hell to have tag team champions that refuse to face challengers because he needs you guys.
Well, that's crazy because I refuse to face unworthy competition. So I'm glad we've made the compromise. And with Contar's help, the general manager, he's brought in new talent. You will finally see what the Gentlemen's Club can really do. actual competition with real tag teams.
Yeah.
With men who have some worth. Not little boys playing grab-ass with their friends. The Gentlemen's Club aren't even friendly with one another. What makes you think we want to face them?
Now,
While
while we're at it, since Tommy's got his panties in the wad, typing furiously on the computer here.
What's up, Mac?
Let's talk about the white elephant in the room, okay? When we won those belts, we didn't get those belts for 2 weeks. Why? Because Tommy was up to no good. And when we got the belts, he said, oh, well, those belts are snake bit, Well, here we come along and everything, and I told Tommy, I said, whatever kind of voodoo, hoodoo, gree crap you just start doing behind the back, I've got this voodoo doll, and I'm gonna start poking pins in it, and then the next thing happened, Norman gets sideswiped by some car or whatever, rips himself in two, and then I'm to the point where I'm about ready to tell Tommy, keep it up, buddy. I'm gonna put these pins in this dadgum doll to the point where you ain't gonna be out of bed for a week. All right. So why don't you kind of calm down typing right now, Tommy, and just pay attention to us and listen to what the hell's going on.
So Tommy feels like those titles are snake bit, and he says it again. Well, look at Norman. Snake bit, car wreck, out on the shelf. We don't know when Norman's going to be back. Now we got a third guy. Here's my question. Is it free bird rules when all you guys are healthy and together, or are we going to get rid of Pachuki?
Something that's a great idea, Buster. That's why we come on this show. That's why I love coming. I love you, man. We could do that. But
I'm glad one of y'all love me, Roscoe, because I know Norman don't, man.
Not at all. Not one bit.
See,
and Roscoe,
he's all mad at me for being pissed off because Ashton shows up, and then you start talking about him coming back on and getting back in the ring again in the future, and then he gets all pissed off. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with Norman is difficult. All right. But I realize that I'm going to make the level of excellence that I need to get at, the higher standard that I'm wanting to do in wrestling before I have to leave this business. I've got to do it with Norman. All right. Adversity makes strange bedfellows, just like I said about Ashton at the beginning of the show.
Well, look, Roscoe, I know you know a little bit about the voodoo, the hoodoo. You got the doll there. Is there not some kind of spell? I seen you trying to get the hoodoo off the belts when y'all first got them. I seen the little ceremony. Norman wasn't having no part of that. But could you not put some kind of spell on Norman to heal him up faster, man?
You better not, Roscoe. You just leave that alone, okay?
Yeah.
Shut up, Buster. Foolish ideas in Roscoe's head.
Roscoe, pan around behind you. There'll be a voodoo doll of your car wreck, too. That's probably what really happened, Norman.
Oh, yeah, that or a bunch of bird shit. One of the two. Yeah.
Norman, every time you walk out of the house, man, does a bird shit on your head? And if it does, it's Roscoe's fault, man.
If that happens, Roscoe, I'm going to take my one good leg and I'm going to kick you right in the ass.
So look, we talked about you guys kind of the first interaction you had. We got Roscoe's perspective. Let's backtrack a little bit. Norman, when Roscoe, this is before you knew him whatsoever, he hit you up about training. Did you ever dream that however many years later that you two guys would actually be a tag team and be tag team champions running the wrestling business together?
No, not at all. It's crazy. But once I met him, once I stepped in the ring with him, you look at him, Roscoe Monroe is a freak of nature. And once I'd been in the ring with him, I knew without a shadow of a doubt he was one of the toughest men to ever grace the squared circle.
Damn straight. Thank you.
After fighting one another for so long, I had the idea. I presented it to Roscoe. He punched me in the mouth, but eventually he agreed with me. Adversity makes strange bedfellows. It sounds funny, but I know what you mean. It's a little gay, but he's all right.
So, Ari, I don't know where you went there, but whatever, man. This is an all-inclusive show, man. We make fun of every fucking body, man. It don't matter who you are, what color you are, or what sexual orientation you are. It's free game on Buster Unmasked. But look, when you guys look across the wrestling landscape around the Mid-South area, how many real men do you guys see out there?
But how many wrestlers do you see? You take that, you cut it in half. Then you take that half, you cut that in half. And then you take 3/4 of that away. You start doing some Steiner math, and you probably got a dozen. A dozen, that's safe. Yeah. 12 or a dozen. Take your pick.
12 or a dozen, Roscoe.
Right.
And you got that Dirty Dozen show.
Hey, you need to get on that, man. You funny as fuck, Meklakov. You need to get on that, man. I can match you up in a heartbeat. Hey, you ain't doing nothing right now anyway. You can't wrestle. You might as well get on the show, man. I'll get you in the December episode, man.
Okay,
you might even win $50. I know you need $50, Meklakov.
That's good.
Right. I need to go back and watch your Dirty Dozen show because you do have Johnny Dotson and Dorian on there, and I like those guys a lot. And one thing they can both do is run their mouth.
Double J's with us. He's in the November edition of the Dirty Dozens, facing off against Justin Case. But look, Tommy Jacks is back with us, and he says every 901 tag team champions have ended badly. The first titles were stolen. Them titles have split up, injured, broke up, car wreck. Just saying, I call it snake bit. Roscoe, now you're big on the hoodoo and the voodoo. So do you believe that these titles could really be cursed? And if so, we seen you trying to uncurse these titles. Do you believe they're still cursed, Roscoe?
I got the power of the bayou behind me. As soon as I got into wrestling, I made sure that I tuned into the power of the bayou, and the waters are calm as far as I'm concerned. You all right? You know, Tommy can go around and say whatever he wants to say and do whatever he wants to do, but circumstances are circumstances. I'm going to put the power of the bayou on this, and I'll stop it. I will stop it. And the truth is, Buster, we've had these titles for quite some time now. All right. You were asking, who do we beat? We beat Top Shotaz, I think is the way we say it. All right. So we won the titles from Top Shotaz. And everybody goes, well, they just melted down and everything, and it was easy. No, it wasn't. No, that was a knockdown, drag out match. Okay. That was a knockdown, drag out match that we took the titles from. Okay. All right. So whatever happened and whatever kind of situation occurred, we got those belts fair and square. Now, from that point forward, Norman has kind of been at the helm. Okay. I've been kind of riding, what do you call it? Shot tag or whatever on the back.
Shotgun.
Shotgun on the back of all this. And doing my best to keep it together and keep everything going and keeping Tommy happy and all this bunch of stuff going on. When I got in the ring last night, Tommy Jacks leaned over and looked at me. He said, "Leave me alone, Roscoe. I had nothing to do with this." So he knows what's going on. He's not an innocent bystander. So I'll tune into the power of the bayou and stop any kind of green hoodoo crap he throws on us. Any kind of snake bit stuff. Don't you worry about that, Buster.
Tommy says it wasn't a threat about the titles, it was a warning. He said he was trying to help you guys out. Tommy really believes that these titles are bad luck for whoever holds them. It don't matter whether it's the Gentleman's Club, whether the Initiative wins these titles. Anybody who holds these titles, I feel like Tommy feels like that it is bad luck to hold these specific titles.
Buster, has it been bad luck for us so far? I mean, other than Norman's injuries, I mean, we still have the title. He got injured. We still have the title. I don't understand what the argument is. So we've got the cameraman, as a fill-in right now. All right. He happens to be 6 feet 3 inches tall. Ashton's a big guy. All right. I mean, he can whoop some ass. So I'm not so much worried about the future or keeping the titles. I have a feeling we're going to do just fine. All right. Anyway, I'm off my soapbox.
Well, let's talk about 901 because there's been a big influx of new talent into 901 over probably about the last 5 or 6 months or so. It happens in wrestling a lot of times. You'll get a certain crew and they'll run their course, and then all of a sudden it's time to freshen everything up and bring in new talent. And 901 is bringing in a ton of new talent into the promotion. Let's talk about that for a minute. 901's a hotbed in Memphis for wrestling. Minglewood Hall, the home of 901. We talked, both of y'all, we talked about that on both y'all's podcasts. I feel like Minglewood Hall was a blessing for 901 wrestling. I feel like that is the home now. That is the ground floor of 901. But let's talk about this influx of new talent. Is there anybody in this new talent except other than the Initiative that you guys see coming and challenging you guys for these titles?
Canines. I can see the canines. Yeah, they're big boys. And I've wrestled each one of those individually in Arkansas. I know what I'm up against when I go up against a canine. And then also, we wrestled. What was their name? The good time crew. Jared Whitmire and Austin O'Malley, and they're just getting better every time. So I mean, it's not like there's not competition out there, right? There's some out there, and I'm sure Norman's got some ideas too.
I never go into
Norman, who do you think is going to be coming for those titles, man?
Anyone with any sense. That's who. We have something that is worth everything now. The 901 Tag Team Championships are the number 1 championships in 901. Why? Because men hold them, and it's men with attitude, men with character, and men who can fight. I don't care who you are, what you've done. I've never been booked at a show in a city I've never been to and gone in there thinking, I wonder who I'll see in there. I wonder if I'll know anyone. No, I'm going in there to beat someone's ass, okay? I don't need to know your name. I don't need to know your backstory. I don't need to know what position you played in football, what martial arts you participated in when you were in kindergarten.
That's why
These hands are rated E for everyone. Jesus Christ, that's a stupid thing.
So look, let's focus on the Initiative. Trace Hunt and Jason Jennison. These guys have been EPW Tag Team Champions. They have been Premier Pro Tag Team Champions, MIW Tag Team Champions. These guys, everywhere they go, they come after the gold. So that means you guys are 100% a target for these guys. They're fresh into 901, injecting some new blood in. Do you feel like these guys are man enough to face you guys in the ring?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Trace Hunt is a premier athlete. Jason Genesis Never seen him personally wrestle on the show with him, but he has a great following. Looks great. He does some amazing things in the ring. That doesn't impress me, though. Doesn't scare me. There's a job to do. I can't beat him up personally, but I know for a fact that Roscoe is still the toughest damn man in professional wrestling, and Ashton Perchuki is the most promising young wrestler to date. I'd back my men 150%.
Yeah, Ashton's like trying to put a saddle on a nuclear explosion. I don't know if you noticed. You haven't seen. I'm sure Tommy's going to publish the video and everything on YouTube, and you'll be able to see in action. But as far as the initiative is concerned, if they come and wrestle us for these tag team titles, what you are going to see is a clash of two styles. Their flippy dippy kind of style that they use versus the Memphis wrestling style, the old Mid-South Coliseum style, the kick, punch, you rip your mouth open. Why, just the stuff we talked about, Buster, the last time I was on here. You're going to see that contrast of styles when we clash with them, okay? And I have a feeling that the Memphis style will win every single time. I have no worries about that.
Man, here's the deal. 901, man, they're not just sticking at Minglewood Hall. 901 has been showing up all over the place, man. I'm seeing all kind of new shows, different places. Roller Slam recently, man. I actually, a week ago, watched that. One of the most excellent cards from bell to bell I've seen in a long time. You guys know how it is when you watch a lot of wrestling. Sometimes it's hard for it to draw you in and keep your attention. Man, I watched that show from start to finish. Great match psychology, great matches. You talk about the top shotters. Man, MJ and Big Don Montana, dude, those guys had a knockdown, drag out. I want to say probably about a 15-minute war, man. Back and forth. The whole card was good. What do you guys think about 901 branching out and kind of opening up the gates and starting to do all these other shows?
Oh, wait, there's more. Tommy has something up his sleeve that's kind of still under wraps right now. He'll reveal it, I'm sure, in the future. That'll even expand what you just said even more. And it's to the point where I'm like, I'm an old man. I don't know if I can run this far. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
Stay tuned. All I have to say to that is, if you think that's great, stay tuned. See what the future holds. Watch what Tommy does. Watch what 901 does. Billy Robertson and all the other folks there. You're going to be amazed.
All right, guys, we're at about 50 minutes in. I know Norman's on a tight schedule. Norman, before we get out of here, we all know you're one hell of an artist. And at least now, since you can't be in the ring, you got a lot of time on your hand to do your art. Maybe you could paint some pictures or draw some pictures of Roscoe and Pachuki in the ring while they're defending those 901 tag team titles. Maybe you go old school like Jerry Lawler. Maybe it's a whole new career path, man. Start sending them photos in. Start sending them drawings and paintings in to Tommy Jacks, man. You never know. You might have a job when this is all said and done, Norman.
Buster, I wish you were wearing a mask so I didn't have to look at your face. But you know what? You're not a complete idiot. I no longer hate you. I just don't like you. That's a hell of an idea. You know what? At the next 901 show at Minglewood Hall, let's see, November 2nd, I'm going to draw a picture of the Gentleman's Club. Roscoe and myself, along with Ashton Pachuki, see his name right, those will be available at the merchandise table. There you go. Good idea, Buster.
So, Roscoe, man, while y'all are in the ring doing all the heavy lifting, he's gonna be on the outside of the ring with his crutches, with his paintbrushes and his art pencils, and he's gonna be drawing all the action. Man, maybe make a comic book. Hey, dude, right there, make a gentleman's club comic book while you ain't doing nothing else, Norman.
I've got to run the gentleman's club. That's why Sexy Sam Dollar was a good manager, and you're an idiot.
I'm an idiot. Look, speaking of managers, Gerald Jones, Double J, man, he said, you speak the truth. He said he's actually managed you a few times, man.
He did way back in the day.
Is Double J a real man, Norman?
He's a really big man.
Well, I'm a really big man.
You're a really big idiot, too.
Roscoe, how do you put up with this dude? How do you not punch him in the face before and after every match?
Says I don't. Anyway, it's like, you know, if you want to get to the top, sometimes you got to hang on to the tail of the tiger. So that's kind of the way I look at it, you know.
So look, guys, go ahead, Roscoe.
No, I'm done.
Before we get out of here, in all realistic fashion, how long do you guys feel like you will hold on to those 901 tag team titles? I know, Roscoe, you're, like you've said it before, it's not a secret. You're kind of on the backside of your career. So how much longer do you feel like you're going to be able to do this and hold up your end of the bargain, Roscoe?
That's why all this is so upsetting. I mean, the Norman being hurt and everything, and just the whole situation is so upsetting because, you know, I had plans on, you know, taking my career out with the 901 Tag Team Championship and everything. And, you know, and now it's changed. I'm not ready to quit just yet. And, you know, and now this has happened to Norman, and it's just like, it really took the wind out of my sails. I've had some difficulty processing it and trying to figure out, you know, where we're going and what's going on. And I ain't gonna lie, there's been a little bit of fear there. But right. You know, when Ashton showed up, you know, he's got some spunk, and you know, it's just going to be a matter of, you know, can he do what he's told? Can he toe the line? Can he be a team player? Can we move this forward, you know, and take it? So I would say, I don't know, you know, I just play it a day at a time and everything. I'm pushing the end of my 60s now, so, but, you know, physical wise, my body's never looked this good in my entire life, you know, so I'll just go until the body says, that's it.
Right.
And I'll put the pair of boots in the middle of the ring and say goodbye to the in-mat wrestling activity and be a ref or a color commentator and, you know, go off into the sunset. So yeah, it's been disturbing, Buster. I ain't gonna lie.
Norman, let me ask you something, man. And this is for you and Roscoe both, kind of. You talk about psychology and coming on here and being, I'm a low budget psychologist. So let me just ask you this. Since you brought up those points, Roscoe, you're on the downside of your career. We know Norman is a very intelligent guy, a very strategic guy. I don't like his ass, but he's a smart guy. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to get what he wants. Do you feel like maybe this new guy's a Trojan horse? Do you feel like maybe Norman brought this new guy in and maybe there's a plan that either to push you out or he feels like your time's coming fast? That way Norman has a partner if that happens? Norman, what's your thoughts, man?
I hate you once more. You really are an insufferable idiot. Okay? It's no secret. I don't like people. I don't like Roscoe. He knows that. I respect Roscoe. I don't like you. I hate you, Buster. I don't like Tommy Jacks. Do you think that I like Ashton Pachuki? No, I do not. I have learned to tolerate and somewhat, very little enjoy the company of Roscoe Monroe. Ashton, it is young. Youth is wasted on the young. He has a lot to learn, and I'm getting impatient with teaching people. He tries my nerves. I have to teach him. I have to guide him constantly. With Roscoe, I know what to expect. He's going to do his part. He's going to pull the line. You have to direct the young. He thinks he knows everything and knows dick all of nothing. So you think he's a Trojan horse that I set up? I would have gotten someone closer to my own age. I have no time for young people. Idiot.
Yeah, but man, here's the deal, Norman. You know as well as I do, man. You put that young guy in there and let him be the workhorse. You stand out on the apron, you get that hot tag, you come in, clean house after he's done all the work, and then you get all the glory off of his back, man. And I'll be honest with you, Roscoe, I don't know how you deal with this dude's mood swings. He went from hate me to not hate me, just not liking me. Now he's back to hating me again.
All in a day's work with Norman Meklakov there, Buster. All in a day's work.
Guys, I want to thank you both so much for actually coming on together. I was so worried that Roscoe was not going to come on with Norman here today. I appreciate both of you guys so much for coming on. Norman, all bullshit aside, I don't like your ass, but I do hope you heal up fast and you get well, because I'm anxious to see you back in the ring. Roscoe, you keep doing what you're doing, man. You still built like a brick shit house. So that's all that counts, man.
Thank you. Love you, Buster, man. Always have.
Guys, y'all have a great night. All right, y'all, you seen it right there, the Gentleman's Club. 901 Wrestling Tag Team Champions. If you ever get a chance to see these guys anywhere, go do it, man. Real men, old school wrestling. Not none of this high flying. They ain't flipping. They ain't flying. They're putting feet and boots and hands to guys' heads and faces. That's what they do. Old school, hard-nosed, no-nonsense wrestlers. That's what it's all about. I want to thank each and every one of you guys who tuned in. You know I got to promote these Dirty Dozens one more time before we get out of here. Let me do that, and then I'll let you guys go home.
You already know who it is. We be bustin'. It's Big Buster, baby, and I got some Dirty Dozens for y'all. We be bustin'. Wrestling roast battles. Y'all ain't ready for this. Y'all ain't ready. Here we go. Who be bustin'? We be bustin' like Blossy, like William Perry, we hustlin'. Big in these streets like Big Buster. You a sucker like Lou Brother who trust. We bustin'. Lick off shot, chin, get clocked, knick-knack, patty whack, give a dog a bone. Dirty Dozens with my pros, step into the zone. Wrestling roast battle, leave that alone. We be bustin'.
All right, y'all, do not forget this coming Sunday night, October 19th, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. You don't want to miss the Dirty Dozens. Double J, I'm looking forward to seeing you in the November's edition against Justin Case. Look, guys, we're back tomorrow night and Friday. It's back to the Dirty Dozens. Tomorrow night, I got the Don on. I'm sure he's got a lot to say about Justin Klein after what all Klein said about him last night. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. As always, until then, y'all take it easy.
When you hear that Buster H.R. Oh, man, it's about to go down. You feel the tension in the air. Wrestling fans all over the world, get ready for this right here. They're gonna have a field day with this one. You're about to witness Buster Unmasked! Oh, Lord! Oh, Lord! There's no telling what Buster's gonna say today. We just getting started. Just getting started. Welcome to Buster